our very own Dr. Michelle White, one of our investors.
Yes, and that was a very nice banquet also. So it was very heartfelt that that they just gave us that scholarship that we were able to use for our young people that attended our leadership conference.
Right.
So that was
I
awesome.
wasn't able to attend. I was ill that day, but Carla and Terry, my husband, did it really. And also Kayla attended as well. Right.
Yeah, and always Terry always putting me out there. So I went, but I represented. So
Absolutely. That was
a good thing. I represented the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. Also in August, I attended a resilience training. Again, we're still trying to meet the needs of our community that's out there. There are so many things that our young people are going through, young adults as well as our middle school and high school students. So that was a great training to attend to keep us up to date and current with events that our young people are dealing with. And then we also did a radio show interview with Billy T podcast at Radio One. That was fun. Terry did a phenomenal job as always.
How could you shut up?
I know. I mean, when you got started and you were going, it was it just pumped up the room. All of the sports, the radio personalities that were in there were just in awe. Like, oh my goodness, this is such a great organization, and the things that you guys are doing is just awesome. So we did that in August, and then in September, we held our first youth leadership development conference.
Yes.
We had 24 participants. We were gunning for 25, but we actually had 27, and out of that 27, 24 showed up and attended. And at that event also, we had a keynote speaker. Of course, Terry and myself, we presented the leadership conference. We did great. You did great, girl.
Thank you, too, girl.
I know this is right. The young people, they really participated and enjoyed. Hopefully, if you go to our website, there'll be pictures up of that event as well, very soon. Okay, and then we had a special guest speaker, Mr. Morris. I be correcting everybody all the time, but Mr. Morris Hood III. He is a Michigan state representative. He worked in the House of Representatives, and he was a state senator for the state of Michigan for 16 years. I was surprised. I was like, I didn't even know the timeline. It's like they tell you, oh, he did the full terms. But he was phenomenal. He was awesome. And he was so transparent that our young people were able to connect and understand and realize that, regardless of your situation, you can still move forward. Don't let anything stop you. And you know what? They received it. Yeah. And hopefully we'll have him on one of our podcasts to share that again, so that we can share it with our viewers. So, and hopefully you guys will watch it on our podcast as well. I'm sorry, hear it on our podcast. Okay. Another thing that we did in September was our Bridging the Gap
for Humanities.
Yep. And the theme this year was Embracing the Village.
Yes.
And we had Mildred Gaddis as our keynote speaker.
Wow. Phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. She gave a challenge, and people took to that challenge. So she was great, and we want to thank you, Mildred Gaddis, for being our keynote speaker. Then we had Johnny Lawrence and friends. Oh, was he excellent.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't eat from grooving, every time he'll do a song that you know.
And that playback.
Exactly. And then you got your forks and everybody at the tables and joining in. That was just beautiful. The silent auction we did, everything, that was just wonderful also. Pictures are forthcoming also on our website, which is the nurturingwellnessgroupfoundation.org. Okay, got to give that shout out. Then in September also, I attended a suicide workshop this time. It's a networking event, and it was called Talk Saves Lives. And it just gave us updates on, we were looking for if there's anything new, any new techniques that we can utilize within our What Now portion of the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation that we could be able to share with those young individuals who may be having suicidal thoughts or bouts of depression. That's during our young adult support group, support services class, as well as our life support for students class. So we can at least have the information. We want to be very current in the things that we teach and the techniques that we use. We want to make sure we give them accurate tools that are, good for today's young people generation. Yeah, and then I do have another networking conference to attend October the 2nd, I believe, and that one is called Building Intentional Support Circles. And this right here helps you to learn how, for us to be able to have parent support groups to teach them how to come together, with children who have certain disabilities, whether they're mental, physical, whatever their disabilities are, how to be able to support them, not just as a family, but as an extended family. So I'm hoping to get
that.
That is through Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority. And then they're doing it under another group as well, but they're the main persons that are putting that event on.
Right.
So I'll be attending that one. And then in October, because we did so well with our leadership development conference, we will be, starting in November, having 2 bi-weekly leadership conferences.
Isn't that something?
Now, not just for November, but beginning in November, bi-weekly. That means from November all the way through January and so forth. So we're looking for some sponsors also to help those individuals to be able to participate who may have some forms of hardship. So, if you'd like to sponsor a young adult, then please do. But let me tell you, once you see the pictures and you get a couple of the videos, you will realize how powerful that leadership development conference was. Okay, I've been talking too much now. I'll take it.
Well, Carla is really being very modest. Well, not really, but she is being modest because Carla has been busy.
Oh, yeah.
Like extremely busy. And so I just want to publicly say how much I appreciate Carla's commitment to our cause. And we really truly look at this as being a ministry. I want to kind of back up so that everybody is aware of what is the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. So it's our 501c3 nonprofit. And so we establish it because it's working with young people who have barriers that prevent them from being successful. And so, originally we had the programs that is offered through the Nurturing Wellness Group was originally offered through My School Nurse. And what we found is that schools, they really don't have a problem with professional development for the teachers and the staff, but when it came to providing programming for the young people, they rather go through nonprofits and to kind of get your foot in there. Anyway, so that's why we went on and started a nonprofit. But the staff, the educators, the presenters that are actually delivering the program are being subcontracted by My School Nurse. So it is part of a return that our investors will eventually see a return on it. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood what it was. So through the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation, we provide 2 programs. One is life support for students, and that is for high school students, 16 through 18, high school, for 11th and 12th graders. That's where it kind of ranges to. And then we have the young adult support system is for post-high school up to age 25, okay? And so, we forgot to mention that we did that TV cable show in Ann Arbor. Did you think of that at the same time?
I just did when you mentioned it.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to speak at a cable network in Ann Arbor. I think that was in September. It was in August. It was in August. Anyway, so
before we went to
Billy T, right. So anyway, so we have life supports for students and young adult support system, and so those are the curriculums that and it's very, very similar. We just make it a little different for the age group. And so it's a 7-module program that can be delivered in a variety of ways. It can be delivered once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, or whatever. So, but we have to get through the 7 modules. And so after the young people go through this particular curriculum, then they become a member of the What Now platform. And the What Now platform is a young adult support group. It's a mentor group that we have established a committee of young people who actually run it and organize it. And of course, we're spearheading it, but we're kind of trying to teach them leadership skills so that they can actually run it. It's almost like a club.
Right.
And so we have, through your donations, we have been able to really establish our technology to be able to have this platform. It's a web-based platform. And so when students, and they don't have to go through the life support for students or the young adult support system in order to become a part of the What Now program. And so sometimes they'll be What Now first, and then we'll encourage them to take the life support for students, or vice versa. So they can come in anyway. But anyway, so the angle that we're taking for the What Now program is that when young people are in high school, they have all of these resources. And then, the teachers, their counselors, their coaches, and things like that. And so they have this network of people. But then when they leave high school, their network is gone. And so they don't really know who to ask, and who to trust and things like that. And so this is a platform where they come together. They have leadership conferences, and that's what we did. We've been doing. And they also have resources.
And don't forget the meet and greet.
Oh, meet and greets. And they have a weekly 15-minute power call.
Yes.
And so this is where young people can call in and they get the encouragement to be their best them. And so they call in to a special number, and that they get to hear fabulous Carla. And they get a shout out. What is it called?
It's called the power charge.
A power charge from another young person. So for example, if another young person had some issues that they've gone through and they've conquered them, so they give like a little 5-minute spiel encouraging them to keep going. So this is like, we keep our hands on them on a weekly basis so that they know that we're still there. If they have questions, we can refer them to different people and so on and so forth. And so on our website, there's a back page. When they join the What Now platform, they go to the back page and they have access to a variety of areas: spirituality, college and careers, financial literacy. So it's like eight different categories that they can actually join. So if you have a young person in your life that is struggling or needs some support, then refer them to the nurturingwellnessgroup.org website and have them to join the What Now. And so there's a little tab up there that says What Now. But anyway, we're using that What Now platform as a outreach, also as a networking opportunity, and also to market our life support and our young adult support system. And so that's one of our outreach. So if you know young people, then we would love for you to do that. Another thing I want you guys to understand is that, and I know I'm talking a lot about the Nurturing Wellness Group because that's where a lot of our efforts are right now. We have mastered and really critiqued our program. Our products are solid, okay? Our curriculum is solid. Students are doing well. We have data to support that. We have pre and post test assessments that we use. We evaluate the students' needs before they became a part of our program. And so we are using data in order to develop our program to be as powerful as it can be. So we have really spent a lot of time on our products, not only on the nurturing wellness side, but also on My School Nurse, and I'm going to be talking about that in just a second. But what I want you guys to understand is Carla's been doing a lot of networking, because I always use this example. Had a friend who started a store, okay, had the store looking beautiful, and then opened the doors and nobody came. It's like you got these products, and I always say, I call it the storefront theory. And so we have this beautiful product, okay, and we have some life-changing services that we provide, but if nobody knows about it, then we're not going to move. And that's where our struggle is right now. We need your help as our investors. We need you to talk about our business, and we do this every day. When you go have a cup of coffee at Tim Hortons, or you have a donut or a bagel or a hamburger, or a boutique that you've had an opportunity to go see, you experience it and then you tell people about it. So we need your help. We need you. Young people. You have your cousins and nieces and grandchildren, people in your community, young people that you work with, young people that we complain about all the time.
Yes.
You know, refer them. And it doesn't matter where you live, because our program is mobile. So we do a lot of things. You know, we have the technology, which, like I said, you helped us to build. We need you to tell people about what we're doing. And so we're going to be sending each one of you a letter giving you some instructions on how to create a list of people that you know in your community so that you can start talking about our program. So, but before you can talk about our program, you really have to experience it.
Right.
And so what we would like to do is to put together sort of like a little brief overview of one of our classes. And so we're going to kind of do like an overview for you so that you can kind of get a better idea of what we're doing, and also interview. You know, we'll have let's try to get some interviews from the young people who've actually taken our classes, so that you can kind of get a feel of how powerful it is and how it is changing lives. We have investors that have invested in us, and when you invested in us, I receive that as you believe in what we do.
Right.
And so if you believe in what we do, then you really need to, if you don't know what we need to do, then you need to learn it so that we can get the word out, so that we can actually start making some lucrative funds. And so that's where we are struggling with, is that networking. And this is why Carla and I, actually Carla this year, has been so busy getting out there in the community and talking to people, because, you know, if people don't know we exist, then we can't get the business.
Right. And here's one of the things also. You know, when we were at the Bridging the Gap, I really wanted to share this point, but you know, I know people were ready to eat, so I couldn't talk too much.
Right.
But one of the things is that when you just mentioned about, you have to know what the product is. And so when we have these YAS classes and this life support, and we go to the different networking events, you guys remember me when we had the family and friends investors meeting? I was a scary, all shaky type of person, like, I don't want to talk, I'm sweating, I'm nervous, what have you. Trust me, after a year's time, you know, sharing the programs with the young people, and then, you know what, stepping outside my comfort zone.
And embracing the content.
Exactly. Actually utilizing it in everyday events. I'm powerful. I am an encourager. I inspire.
Absolutely.
I'm honest.
And you know what? I can truly say that Carla is a different person. You are really a different person, because, you know, everyone can see now what I've always saw.
Right.
And so, which is a blessing, and it's a testament to what we are doing here with the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. So the product work, and we'll have the same kind of testimonies from the kids that young people that we've actually introduced the program to. You see transformation from the program we're delivering.
Yes.
But like I said, we need you. So look for an email from us in the next couple of weeks that is going to be asking you very specific questions about who you know. So, like, you know, these are the type of people we want you to kind of think, do I know somebody who is doing this, that, and the other, like a counselor at a school, or a youth ministry at my church who would welcome this type of program, okay? Do I know any grant makers? Do I know any organizations that give money to nonprofits? That's what I'm going to have you guys start brainstorming. Who do I know? Because I know we have over 50 friends and family investors. And so with that said, we know you guys know some people, and we need you to help us to get connected to these people on that side of our business.
Yes.
So we attended a Kiwanis event. I forgot about that. Kiwanis, I had never really connected with. I've always heard about Kiwanis, but it is a volunteer organization, and I had an opportunity to speak with a young lady who is very instrumental in fundraising, and so she's going to be joining our team. And at our Bridging the Gap for Humanities event, we made some amazing contacts, and so that was great. The Each One Teach One, Dr. Ferguson, a really good friend of mine, let me just tell you how the Lord works, and I'm just gonna go straight. I'm about to preach, just kidding. Let me just tell you how the Lord works. I met. We were at the Women's Empowerment
Expo. Yes.
Expo about a year ago.
Yes.
And so they put us like way on the back, and I think we told you guys about this. And so they put us on this way in the back.
We had a wall
we were
in front of us.
We were like, really? That's where you gonna put us? But anyway, it was actually a blessing because Dr. Ferguson found us, and she said we were the only ones that she spoke to. And so we established a relationship with Each One Teach One. And their organization, what they do is they actually, it's almost like a bridge the gap type of thing. They provide, broadcast or educate our families on different resources. And so, of course, we're a resource. But anyway, long story short, I got a phone call the other day from BUF, the Black United Foundation. Mr. Donaldson. He gave me a call and he said, Miss Princeton, I'm ready for you guys to spearhead this medical program, and I want to use Nurturing Wellness Group, and we're going to start applying for some grants with the Skillman Foundation. And I want you to work with this amazing woman that I met, and I think you guys will do really well. And so we're on the phone. He said, this is Dr. Pat Ferguson, and he said, this is Mrs. Brinston from the Nurturing Wellness Group. And we're like, we know each other. We know each other well. And so now we're going to be working together to develop, actually to kind of combine our programs so that we can start working with young people in the Detroit area. Also, I've been working with some young men who have been released from prison, and to help them to truly try to reset their mind and get rid of some of those self-limiting beliefs that causes them to make bad, poor decisions. And so that's been pretty amazing as well. And so anyway, we're doing great things with the Nurturing Wellness Group Foundation. So thanks, Carla, for spearheading that as our program director. She is definitely powerful, and I'm just truly blessed to have her as a partner. So we have fun, but we do work. We work a lot. Okay, so My School Nurse, I've really been focusing on making sure the product is solid. And like I said, this has been our year of just critiquing our product, getting some insight by people in industry. And so My School Nurse, again, we provide medical support to educational institutions and religious organizations. And so one of the products that we've been working on is the staff training component. And this is where we have registered nurses go into the schools and provide training to the staff on how to provide support for their youth who have different type of disease processes. So for example, we're teaching diabetes awareness or asthma or trach care, whatever their needs are. And so we had originally, last year, we were actually, I subcontract nurses, and they go out and they provide the education, which was going very well. But what we found was through our surveys, because we do a lot of surveys, and that's how we utilize data to make our products better. But we found that it was the inconvenience, us trying to go there on a day that they had professional development, and it was just hard to get those schedules. So we said, okay, what can we do? So we looked at our technology, and we said, okay, well, we're going to start recording our content so that they have access to the recordings of the training for a period of time based on their contract. And so for example, if there's a school and they open up this portal to all of the staff members who have to be trained in this particular area, and so once they receive the training, at the end of the window that is pre-negotiated, the window of time that they can actually access the recording, then after that period has expired, then the nurse would go in and do the test outs, because see, they're still required to do the test outs. But what was happening is you got these 4 hours of training, and it was really inconvenient. And there are different types of classes that's covered in our package deal. Well, anyway, so that product, the recordings of the training and that window that actually expires, that means they have access for a certain period of time, and then they don't have access after a date, and then we go in and provide a training. So that 4-hour training for 5 different disciplines has been reduced to based on their convenience. They can look at it in their convenience. But then we go back to that particular facility and do the test outs, and so you go from 4 hours of their time to like an hour. And so that is one of the products. Now we are in the process of, we sold one of the packages for that, and so we're going to critique it, and then we're going to go ahead and roll it out. Now that is great product because now it's scalable. Okay, so we're able to extend that service, throughout nationally. Okay, and so the only thing we have to do is have connections in different states by registered nurses so that they can go in and provide the test outs. So it's much easier for me to get a nurse to go for an hour than it is for 4 hours, based on that facilities, everybody can get together for 4 hours. So it's going to be a lot more convenient. And so, like I said, we have been working on the product and making sure that the product is scalable, okay? And so the quality is there and the product is there. So we're doing really well with that. And so so wherever you are, you in a community, you have a school, you need to talk to them. Their special ed director is a point of contact. And like I said, I'll be putting that in that email so that you can kind of do some brainstorming and see who you know. Because I know y'all know people.
Well, of course.
I mean, and so that's what we need. We need you to put us in front of people and just get the appointment for us, or make the contact and give us a name. We'll do the rest. But it's sometimes, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
So if you're in a fraternity and your sorority, or people in your community, people who go to your church, and so we're going to be asking you to truly just brainstorm and get those names down and refer them to us. Okay, so that's one of the products under My School Nurse, is the staff training. The other product that's really doing well is CPR training. Of course, we do American Heart. And so right now we're focusing on, school staff. But another area is for like daycare centers or churches. And we got a really good program for churches, because, the faith-based facilities, they really don't have a lot in their budget to support that. And so what we do is when we go to a religious, a faith-based organization, it doesn't have to be Christian, it can be Catholic, it can be wherever you have a lot of people, you need to have people who are certified in CPR. And so what we do is we charge them for their first 5. And so we go in and we provide CPR, and we charge them for the 5 people, but they can have at least 20 people in that class. And so if they want certification, of course they have to pay for the certification to the American Heart, but we only charge them for 5 people. Now what that does is we're giving back. We want to make sure that the congregations are safe. Now we do have our own training site. I don't know if I had an opportunity, I think we talked about it in our last update, that we were in the process of trying to have our own training site, but we have our own training site, so we're able to order our own cards, we're able to maintain our own records and things like that. So that's a plus since we talked to you last. So we have our own training site, so that's pretty good. We worked really hard on that.
Carrie, I just wanted to share also about the CPR training. Now, one of the things, because I am the director of our children's ministry at my local church, and one of the things I made sure that we added to our budget was to have CPR training. Because we deal with children, and by the time it takes for you, the time it takes for if something if a child chokes or has a breathing issue or whatever the ailment is that we need for that CPR, we need to be able to know. Our teachers, our team leaders need to be certified in that, not just to be like, kind of half doing it, but they really need to know. And so, because by the time it takes for the ambulance to get there, or if there's not a nurse on duty at your church or your faith-based organization, your ministries need to have those individuals to actually know. I mean, how many times when people come, it's like, oh, well, if somebody needs a Band-Aid in their church, they always go ask Miss Carla, okay? Or, you know, and now they know that we got like those instant ice packs, you know, like, oh, such and such hit her head on the thing. It's like, oh, well, we ain't got no ice downstairs. Oh, okay, fine. Boom. Here you go, you know, now I got to replenish that because now everyone knows.
Right.
But it's knowing those first aid as well as those CPR manipulations and so forth. So, I mean, even within a ministry, you know, even like you said, a nursery, a preschool, or, you know, if you got a dance class or something, you know, that your children attend.
Or,
right.
You know, coaches.
We don't look at things like that, right?
Yeah,
you know, yeah. So those are the areas as well,
right.
You know, for individuals.
And it's very important. And you know, like I said, you have an organization that you know that provides this, and so we come to your site. And so this is something that we actually, you know, are local with our CPR, but we're also in the process of making it scalable. And so if you, so currently we're looking at Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois that we have access to, because our trainers are paramedics. And so we can also provide trainer, you know, because we are a training site, so that if you know someone who wants to make some extra money in your state, and we can make sure that they get the trainer certification, access to it, so then they can work with us as well. And so we want to make sure that that's scalable as well. So that's another thing. Another thing we did, and I forgot to mention this, is that I provided a webinar, okay? And so that was pretty cool. And so we did a live webinar, and also now we're sending it out because I'm having more and more people look at this webinar. What it was talking about is how you can legally provide medical support to young people in schools. And so a lot of times people don't realize that you cannot provide medical care in a school setting unless you have permission from the doctor. You have to have a doctor's order in order to provide it. You just can't just give kids medicine and things like that. Well, anyway, I take them through the process of what they need to do in order to make sure that they cover themselves and that they're trained and have the right paperwork. And so it was like a really quick, like a 20-minute webinar, but it was packed with some amazing information. And then from that, we did like a survey to say, okay, what other type of educational webinars are you interested in? And I got a lot of people were very interested in me doing stuff on the healthy living advisory committees for schools, how to start that, how to track your staff member, with some easy ways to track, keep up with the dates of who's certified in CPR, who's certified in different trainings. And so we were able to put some freebies together so that we can network and make those relationships, build those relationships. Another product that we have been working on is MSN Fast, and so that's our first aid support team. This is where we have paramedics and EMTs and nurses. We go out to sporting events, and so with that, what we're looking for is if you know any AAU coaches, if you know any athletic directors, if you know any different leagues like football, basketball, volleyball, and cheer, karate, kickboxing, some of those things. These things that, young people are at risk of being injured, and then when they get injured, what do? So what we do is we have an EMT in a bag, basically, and they have that skill set to be able to attend those events, and if any type of emergency arises, then, they can provide care. We also did ice hockey. We have provide medical support at ice hockey events. And so that was one of the things that was really, really great, through that service. And so we're also working on the scalability of that as well. So what I want you to receive from this update is, are we making the amount of funds that we had anticipated by this time? And the answer is no. We are not having the returns the way that we had anticipated. But our products, our technology, our marketing, and everything is right on target where we want it to be at this point. So what we are going to be working on from this point on, because the year of 2020 is the year that we are supposed to be getting more of our returns so that we can return your investment. And so this is the year that we got to get the money coming in. And so with that, and we, you know, we keep a really tight
Yes.
a tight ship,
Yes.
making sure that, okay, this is, we're done, our products are together, our technology is tight. Now we got to start making some money. Okay, we've been doing the networking events, we've been, you know, making phone calls, and we've been doing this and we've been doing that. So we have been doing our due diligence. What we need right now is we need help. We need help getting the word out so that people know what we do, so that we can go in there and provide the services. And so with that, we need your help as friends and family. And so I know that you've come to our aid financially. Now we just need you to open your mouth. So we don't need your money. We don't need any more money. We're straight. We are maintaining our books. We are not in the hole. We are self-sufficient as far as, you know, the money that we are making. We are reinvesting it into the company. We have not received a salary. And so I will let you know that no one, none of the partners, myself or Carla, we have not received a salary for any of the services that we've provided, because we've been really reinvesting in the company. Now, with that said, that gets old too, right? Because we've been working. And so, but you know, and so our desire is to start getting a return. And to be quite honest, this was something that we had anticipated. We knew that it was going to take us this year, and we committed to the fact that we would not take a salary so that we could go ahead and make sure that we put the money back in the company to get the technology and things like that all set. So I just wanted to just be transparent with that. But moving forward, our from this point on, actually we started about a month ago, we are going to be having a meeting, a strategy meeting, where we're looking at our pros and our cons, looking at what we have or what we don't have and what we need. And so and we're working with a few people who are in business that have actually they're mentoring us, right, to help us with this process. So we're looking at our pros and cons. What do we need to do? Who do we need to connect with in order to help us to carry out what we need to carry out? And so that's where we are right now. So with that said, we know that one of our weakest areas is the networking and knowing people and getting in front of the companies. So you will not be embarrassed. You refer us to people that you know who need the type of services that we provide. We have quality products, okay? And so I can say that wholeheartedly. So anyway, I'm excited. Our event was like last week. Was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
It was September the 14th.
Oh my gosh, time is just flying.
It is.
Time is flying. So anyway, I'm excited. We are so happy that you are on this journey with us. It is our desire to make sure that we keep you updated with what's going on. We want to be transparent. And so you have our number. You have our email. ThirdCal is our go-between, because you know we have a lot of friends and family. So if you have any questions, this is being sent to you from ThirdCal's email. So if you have any questions, you have any ideas, just go ahead and let ThirdCal know what you want, or if you have any questions. Like I said, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be receiving another email from ThirdCal just asking you to do some brainstorming so that you can connect us with people in industry so that we can make those connections. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so we are so excited. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for your prayers. And I want to say this, pray for us.
Yes.
Pray for our health, pray for our families.
Yes.
Pray that we make the right connections that we need to make. Just pray that the children that we're touching, that their lives are changing. I just ask that you just pray for the schools, because it's all about making sure that our young people are healthy and safe
Right.
so that they can grow up and live productive lives. And that's what we're all about. And for us, it is a ministry. And so I just ask you to just keep us in prayer, because I'm telling you there's been a lot going on. And so with that, we just thank you, and we will be praying for you as well.
Yes.
Any last words, Carla?
Be well.
Hey, amen. Hey, check us out on our podcast. We'll make sure that we get the link. I laugh because that's how we end our podcast all the time.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Be well.
This girl got me doing too much. Look, I'm getting my videos mixed up.
Right.
That's right, I do, don't I?
Yeah.
That's my
Hey,
tag.
God bless you. You have a wonderful, wonderful week, and stay warm. Hey, it's been hot though.
I know.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.